The president of the global football organization FIFA says they are still backing the 2022 World Cup in Qatar following a recent diplomatic uproar. Qatar was awarded the World Cup back in 2010, a controversial decision at the time with ethical concerns about how that decision was made. Cleared after a lengthy investigation, those hosting rights are now once again under serious scrutiny after several Middle Eastern neighbors accused Qatar of funding terrorism and imposed an economic blockade. David Harding is a correspondent for AFP in Qatar, and he joins us now from the phone. David, the head of FIFA argued that it was too early to make a decision like this, and the situation would return back to normal in 2020 by then. So Qatar is going to host the World Cup then. What do you make of his response?
Well, I think at first, it's not often journalists agrees with the head of FIFA, but for now he's correct in that it is a long way away. It's 5.5 years until the World Cup is due to start in Qatar. So this crisis obviously will be resolved before then. Where the crisis is going, though, it could prove a big problem for FIFA. Obviously, no one knows where it's going. It's exploded quite massively within just the week that it's been going on. So the problem is for FIFA that it could go into areas that it has no control over and go well beyond football. And of course, the fundamental charge here is that Qatar's neighbours are claiming that Qatar itself is a terrorist supporter.
And obviously, we say that things may change in the future, and this is a long way away, but they could change back as well. The response, at least right now, from players, other people in the soccer community, what is that right now?
It could change back, and I think even if it blows over now, these are long-running issues that are going on. This is something to do with foreign policy issues and power issues that have been rumbling along in this region for some time. So they could actually emerge again, say in 2020 or 2021, which would provide FIFA with a major headache if the World Cup is still being played here or is due to be played here. As regards the football community here, it's shock, actually. The whole thing has really shocked people. At first, there was disbelief. These are nations that are fundamentally friendly. They share huge cultural links, huge family links of these countries. Qatar, they are their neighbours. So at first there was shock, then there was anger, and now there's a sort of bunkering in that we won't be denied various things and we won't be told what to do. And one of the things that we won't be denied from a Qatari perspective is the World Cup.
I think I even saw, though, United Arab Emirates tweeting about that the World Cup will be theirs. The idea even not just against Qatar, but even saying we'll take it over.
Yeah, that has been. There's been quite a conflict on social media here, and one of the biggest hashtags from the UAE has been for the UAE to take hold of the World Cup in 2022. There's always been the feeling in Qatar that the United Arab Emirates is very jealous of Qatar for winning the World Cup, and will quite handily and quite happily take this tournament off them.
You were talking before about this being a long way away, 5.5 years, but there's still a lot of infrastructure to put into place, and you've got the blockade right now and the prevention of getting materials even in there. How ready are they right now for the 2022 World Cup if it is played?
They are very ready up until before this crisis blew up last week. They are very ready. They've already built the first stadium and used the first stadium, which will be used at the World Cup, which is quite phenomenal. It will also be used for the World Athletics Championships in 2019. They're only building for now rebuilding up to 8 stadiums. So the infrastructure in that part has been put in place. The rest of the country is enormous amounts of infrastructure, roads, a subway system, hotels, a port, airports, and they're all in place. The new airport has been built. They are up to speed up until last week. Depending on who you speak to, well, I don't know, the government said today that they have enough resources on the construction front to last for a year. I was speaking to somebody just a few days ago who's a manager within the construction industry, and he said they only have enough materials on the supply line to last for 2 weeks.
Do you think, is there anything maybe that could be done, or that at any point FIFA would buckle under any international pressure to actually move the World Cup?
So far they've resisted all pressure, and so we guess from that, no. And as you mentioned earlier on, it's not just this issue which has proved controversial at the World Cup. There's been the labour issue, which is still going on, and they still face huge criticism of their treatment of the migrant labour force, which is over 2 million people here, and the population of the country is only 2.7 million. They also are facing corruption investigations, one in America, which is obviously going to end in the courts later this year, but also a Swiss investigation which is going on. So far, FIFA hasn't buckled, so you would think that they wouldn't. I think the aspect to this which is far more serious is that the countries that are opposed to Qatar, and Qatar really denies this, vehemently denies this charge, but they are claiming the reason they're taking this action is because of the support for terror financing by Qatar. The charge could hardly be more serious at the moment, and how FIFA responds to that, if that charge plays out and is given any credence, that could prove a real headache for FIFA.
Yeah. All right, David Harding, we appreciate the update. Thank you.